Hello everybody, it is the final Betting Weekly game bet match of the week. I'm your host Nigel Seeley and joining me is our ATP senior handicapper. It is Sean Calvert. Before I introduce you to Sean, please hit the subscribe button, please hit that like, comment, give us a comment on anything you like on the show, anything you want to hear, any advice you want, any questions you want on the world of tennis betting. We will answer those as well. Good afternoon, Sean. How are you, mate?
Good afternoon. I'm getting there, thanks. Yeah, the cold is on its way out. The sun's shining. Nice crisp day. Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Yeah.
And more importantly, how are you?
The
cold.
You're the one with the health worries at the minute.
Mate, no, I've got a dodgy eye. I don't want to pour you into medics, but I had a cataract and I put my lens in. I don't know if I said
you talked about this yesterday, but you've been the doctor since then, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been referred me to the eye hospital. But anyway, I'll be fine. I'm a trooper. I'll be fine. How's your cold?
As people know.
How's your cold?
I'm definitely not a trooper. So if anything's slightly wrong with me, you'll know about it, that's for sure.
No, I'll be all right. They only cut my eye out, take the lens out, put it back in. I'll be fine.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Anyway, last night was a bit of a mixed bag of results. Official picks went down. Common couldn't cover the 3.5. He got beat by 4 against Ben Shelton. Very unlucky there. The money line went down as well. But the lean for Marozsán proved possible, who beat Casper Ruud. And our pick, Marcus Giron, at 28-1, made it through to the quarterfinals in Auckland. And we did say, really, if you haven't on 28-1, you should be betting the plus 120.
I did say that. Yeah. He started out at almost even money. That he came right in.
I was going to say he got bet off the boards, minus money. I think it was just before this match started. So there was a huge move for Marcus Giron, and he is right in contention for the tournament in Auckland. Before we look at the latest odds in Auckland and the match bets quarterfinal day today, last night it was a bit unlucky with Common. I went to bed and he was doing really well, and I thought, we might nick the first set here, and then it sort of went a little bit wrong when I woke up.
Yeah, he had those 3 set points, didn't he? When you're playing someone like Shelton, it's small margins, isn't it? You've got to take one of those 3 set points. Okay, a couple of them he didn't stand much of a chance, but he went 0 from 6 on breakpoint chances. If he'd have taken one of those 3 breakpoint chances, and he'd have won that set, and then it's a totally different match, isn't it? But it is quite remarkable how Shelton gets through some of these matches when he's behind in the stats, behind in the score. He just seems to come up with stuff, or he seems to have this ability to make other players fail on the big points. I don't know whether it's to do with him, to do with his personality, whether he just, because he goes for everything, because he's so positive, maybe other people, his opponents get a little bit cowed by it or whatever, but he seems to have this happy knack of eking out situations that he perhaps ought not to. And at the end, we lost the handicap by 1 game. So, if you'd have won that first set, I feel like we would have won the handicap and quite possibly the match, but it didn't go that way, unfortunately.
Still 2.94 points units in profit for 2026, and pick going for us in Auckland is looking pretty fair as well. We're going to start. Let's have a look at the outright market in Auckland. The matches continue this evening at around 5:30 Eastern time. So you have plenty of time to download the app, watch the show, get our bets, and head across to Bet Rivers to get your wagers on. These are the outright winner prices as we stand at the quarterfinal stage. Ben Shelton, the number 1 seed, is the tournament favourite at $2. Jakub Mensik, we did mention that he could be someone to follow. He come through a 3-setter against Medjedovic, but he is there in the betting, second favourite at $3. We then have Gumpetchi Perregard, who beat Cam Norrie. The big serving Frenchman is $5. There's our man, Marcus Giron, 4th favourite, $6 from our pick at 28-1. Fabian Marozsán, who beat Casper Ruud at 7. Sebastian Baez continuing this unbelievable run of his at the moment, 10-1. Luciano Darderi at 12-1. He is the next opponent for Marcus Giron. And Eliot Spizzirri is 14-1. That is our latest prices at Auckland, and our man is looking good, Sean. He's into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, Marcus Giron looking very good. He's not dropped a set, I don't think, so far. Certainly, beat Mickelson again yesterday, plus money. You're going to ask me where my money's going to go now, aren't you, to win this tournament?
Well, I don't know. I don't. We've unless you've got a massive fancy, you really think there's a wrong price there. I'm just quite happy to stick with what we've got. But do you think there's anyone who's a little bit of value now?
Not particularly. I mean, looking at the draw, I mean, Mensik is looking strong in the bottom half, isn't he? He's got Gumpetchi Perregard. I mean, Gumpetchi Perregard again yesterday. I mean, Cam Norrie must be wondering what he's got to do to win this tournament. He was 104-96 ahead in service points won and return points won totals against Gumpetchi. Won more points in the match and lost. Very, very similar to how Tommy Paul lost to Gumpetchi Perregard. It's dangerous, isn't it, when you're playing Gumpetchi? You only have a certain amount of chances. If you don't take them, he's going to have a swing on one of your serves, and it's game over. And it's not ideal way to win tennis matches, but Petchi Pericard is, if he keeps serving like he is, and the backhand is improving a little bit, but he's certainly stealing some matches. And Petchi stole that one against Norrie. You would think Mensik would beat him. Spizzirri and Marozsán I'll talk about in a minute. Also Giron. I think I'll talk about all these matches in a minute. I wouldn't be betting Shelton at plus $2. Just not for me. And you got to think about the weather as well. The weather, I'm just about to talk about it, but it looks pretty bad for Thursday's matches, and Friday and Saturday look a bit moody as well.
You mentioned there about some dodgy weather. What's the weather like for Thursday?
Yeah, it doesn't look great. I mean, some of these forecasts, you look at them and it says Auckland, and it gives you the weather, but obviously Auckland's a sizable area, and if the weather they're talking about doesn't hit the tennis arena, it won't matter. But it's forecast for thunder and lightning all day on Thursday, 20 millimetres of rain expected, obviously windy as well. Reasonably warm, 23 degrees, but it's obviously going to be quite humid because it's this thunder and lightning. So it's just pot luck whether the that weather front does hit the specific part of Auckland where the tennis is being played. But it doesn't look great. It could, if that forecast is accurate, then it could be a tricky day.
Just before we go on to today's quarterfinals, if that weather does come about, and we do get rain delays ahead of the Australian Open, which is only days away now. I mean, the likes of Ben Shelton, Jakob Mensik, who we think they could go quite deep in the first major of the tournament, they might not fancy this at all if we lose a day or lose a day and a half or something because of the weather.
Correct. I mean, yeah, you would think if you are one of the top guys, are you going to want to hang around in Auckland? You'd probably thinking to yourself, well, I'd like to go to Melbourne, get some practice time under my belt there. Obviously different conditions, same courts, same balls, whatever, but different city, different conditions, different heat, wind, whatever. If you're asking me, if I was a top player and I was in that situation and I thought I had a decent chance of making the second week at the Australian Open, with all the prize money as well, of course, unless you've got a specific reason to be hanging about in Auckland, like in Cam Norrie's case, hometown or whatever, you would have to think that the top guys would be thinking, well, yeah, not for me, thanks.
That opens the door up even more for our 28-1 pick, Marcus Giron. It's going to be a rainy day, but these are the matches, and hopefully we do get some tennis today on Wednesday. This match is the first match. It's today at 7:50 p.m. It's the match between Fabian Marozsán, who beat Casper Ruud, our lean, yesterday, up against Eliot Spizzirri, the American. And the American is actually 24 years of age, and he's up to the top career ranking that he's ever held, 87 in the world, and he's probably going to go higher. So he's in form. He's leading the American hopes here alongside Ben Shelton. Probably not many people will know much about him, so I suppose you tell us a little bit about him as well. But Marozsán is the favourite. He's minus 143. Spizzirri plus 115. The spread 1.5. Total 22.5. Set betting and set spread on the graphic, and there is 36 markets available right now on the Bet Rivers app if you download it, and you can live stream this match this evening if you want to cheer on the American, Eliot Spizzirri.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, this. I just wonder if we'll see a classic Marozsán letdown here. I talked about him before, Marozsán. He sometimes just looks like he doesn't fancy it, and some of his results are quite telling. He's beaten top 20 opponents 10 times in his career, and he's gone on to lose the next match 7 times. And this could well be another one of those. The consistency, it just isn't there yet. He's only made one main level semi-final in his career. I know it's not a particularly long career, but he's 26 years of age now. He's not a kid, and he's 1 win and 8 losses in the 9 quarterfinals that he's played at main level, and it kind of tells a story about Marozsán. He played great against Ruud yesterday. I probably should have been braver. I probably should have just taken my own advice and just gone with Marozsán. We talked about the Casper Ruud off court situation, and he played great. But is he going to play great again today? History would suggest he doesn't tend to back it up. And that would certainly worry me if I was thinking of betting Marozsán as a favourite today. And young Spizzirri has been playing, I say young, he's 24, he's not that young. He's been playing really well this week. I saw him a bit of him at the Australian Open last year. He goes for his shots, and his statistics have been really, really good this week. Service points won and return points won, total of 116, Spizzirri so far. 90% holds, 82% first serve points won, 43% return points won. Those are some very, very impressive statistics. And, he's beaten some good players as well. The likes of Manarino, Borges, Juan Manuel Sorundalo, Christian Giron. He's not dropped a set against any of those guys. So, if he keeps his form up, you would certainly give him a chance here. And I don't know whether I'm being a bit greedy, but I just feel like I want a bit of a bigger price. Plus 115 just seems a bit skinny to me, bearing in mind that Eliot Spizzirri's not really got the experience of this stage of a main level tournament. Marozsán has, although it hasn't worked out well for him. It's just going to be a lean, but I'd go for Spizzirri because I just want a bit of a bigger price and plus 115.
Yep, a lean for Spizzirri at plus 115. Will we have an official play on our next match? It's the match between Ben Shelton, the number 1 seed, the leading American this week, up against Sebastian Baez, the in-form Sebastian Baez. 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time. This one, 345, minus 345 for Ben Shelton, plus 260 for Baez, 3.5 spread, total 22.5. Loads of different markets as well. We do have a head-to-head record here, and it's quite relevant, actually, because the two of them met in the first round here at this tournament last year, and Ben Shelton won 7-6, 6-1. But it's worth noting that Baez is 5-0 this year. Incredible, 5-0. I think he's been underdog in every single match he's played. I think he has been underdog in every match. He's won every match, and he's beaten 3 Americans already this year. Fritz, Nava, Brooksby, also Wawrinka and Munar. So he is playing the tennis, probably some of the best tennis of his career. And he's doing exceptionally well. But yet he's an overwhelming underdog for this match. The number 1 seed here will be heavily supported with Bet Rivers. We're talking about the weather. We're talking about, maybe rain delays. We are talking about a man that just did enough yesterday against another player in Comensana. But Baez in great form.
He is in great form. I mean, it is a repeat of the 2023 round 1 match here that Shelton won, as you said. But it should be noted that match was played indoors because it was hammering it down that year in Auckland. So you would certainly fancy Shelton on indoor hard against Baez. This very different situation. Very, very windy in Auckland. That was obviously taken out of the equation. Now it won't be. And the other factor to mention about that match was that Baez came into that match with Shelton having lost 15 of his previous 16 matches. So he was in shocking form, as bad as you could possibly be, really, when he came into that match against Shelton. Now he's in top form. 2026 so far, 5 wins, no defeats, as you said. Service points won and return points won, total 103. 61% second serve points won, which is outstanding, and 40% of return points won as well, which has always been the great part of his game. But interestingly, this is not something you'd expect from Baez. 87% holds a serve. You would not expect that from Sebastian Baez. His serve is, with all due respect, it's pretty weak. He has saved, I think, 78% of the break points against him. So, perhaps it's not an accurate statistic there, but, you would have to say that there is a huge gulf between them in terms of first serve points won. Obviously, Shelton, much, much bigger serve, but, he's got to play a really clean match here to beat Baez comfortably in the form that Baez is in. As you said, his form is impeccable so far this season. I mean, Brooksby was pretty poor yesterday. Brooksby, for me, much better redirecting pace from bigger hitters. Didn't really know what to do against Baez. It's a difficult one, this, because Baez's record against big servers isn't that great. But in 3 of his last 6 matches against big servers in my database, he's gone over 10.5 games in set 1. And in the form he's in right now, that's probably the bet I'd take here. The price I saw earlier was about plus $3 on over 10.5 games in set 1. I'm not sure what the current price is on that. It would either be that or the over total games. I can see this being a lot tougher for Shelton than the odds suggest, bearing in mind this is obviously a windy day. It's going to be a stop-start day as well, not much rhythm. I think Baez will do something here.
I mean, when you look at the over 10.5 games last time they played, when obviously Baez was on that bad run as well. First set was a tiebreak.
Yeah. I mean, it was indoors, but even so.
Yeah. But what have we got here for first set totals? I'm just trying to find them now. First set one offers. First set total over 10.5 plus 195.
Okay, plus 195.
Yeah.
What's that about?
A little bit lower than 2 to 1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's just a lean for me. I think there are plenty of other ways to play this. I wouldn't go handicap on Baez because, as I say, his serve isn't a strength, and if Shelton sort of gets on a tear and breaks him a few times, that could be an issue. But over the totals, over the set one totals, that's probably where I'll be going here on this one. Shelton will probably win it in the end, but I think it would be a bit of a test. The way that Baez is playing from the baseline at the minute is very impressive.
Now, the first match this evening at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have an interesting already. It's our 28-1 tournament pick, Marcus Giron up against Luciano Darderi. The American is minus 240. Darderi is plus 188. Spread is 3.5 here in total, 22.5. They have met twice before. No surprise. They met last year on grass in Eastbourne and Giron won in straight sets. And then they went in Houston on clay in 2024 and Darderi won in straight sets. A fairly comfortable winner on that. On the quicker surface, you can understand why Giron is the favourite. He's 5-1 this year as well. The only defeat was against Bublik, who went on to win the Hong Kong tournament. That was in the semi-finals. So our man is in good form. At the start of the tournament, if you said to me now he's through to the quarterfinals, he's got to play Luciano Darderi and he's minus 240. I would have taken that. Been very, very happy to take that. So,
yeah.
What are we looking at? I mean, there's probably you're not going to press on Giron at minus 240.
No.
But are you slightly worried about this one?
A little bit. I mean, he's been playing well, very, very well so far this season, but minus 240, it's a bit short, isn't it not? I mean, Darderi has improved a lot in the last year on hard courts. He's actually won a higher percentage of first serve points than Giron has in the last year on outdoor hard at maid level. 75% first serve points won versus 72% for Giron. And the ATP stats page is pretty good now. It's got a lot of stats, and his serve quality for the last year is 7.89. Better than Alcaraz, Tsitsipas, Tommy Paul, Musetti, Fils, Shapovalov, Rune, Diminor, and Giron. So excellent serve quality, a little bit underrated. Again, a bit like Marozsán. And he did win more first serve points in that match against Giron that was played on grass than Giron did as well. So there's another factor here as well, given the likelihood of delays. It just feels like it could be trickier than the odds suggest here, minus 240. I think he'll probably win it, if all things being equal, if it's not interrupted numerous times. But I just a little bit concerned about the fact that Darderi has improved a lot on hard courts. As I say, his serve quality, absolutely excellent and somewhat underrated. So with that in mind, I'd probably go the over 22.5 games here if I was betting in this match, which obviously I'm not. I'm just going to be cheering on Giron or potentially Darderi plus 3.5 games, and I hope I'm completely wrong. I hope that Giron comes in here, knocks it off, straight sets, job done. Maybe I'm just overthinking it and being a little bit too cautious, but I think it might be a little bit trickier than the minus 240 suggests.
We're going to win. Don't worry about that. Giron makes it through to semi-finals. He beats Darderi. Don't worry about that, Sean.
Okay.
We're okay.
I won't. No, I won't.
Semi-finals. Minus 2. Don't worry. You're overthinking it. We'll win. We get the night off to a winner with Giron winning the first round. It gets through to the semi-finals and we're in great shape too. If you want to hedge or do anything like that or trade out your position, you're in great shape. There is no official play then in Auckland, but there's a few leans there. We've obviously got a huge interest in the Giron match. We have one match in Adelaide, and hopefully we may have an official play on that. We'll find out from Sean in a second. But before we do, let's have a look at Adelaide conditions-wise. Weather-wise, I suppose it's a very, very different story to what we just had in Auckland.
Yes, in the sense that there's no thunder and lightning or whatever, but quite a bit cooler actually on Thursday than it has been. Only around 22 degrees, and again, windy. 20-mile-an-hour winds. I'll come on to that in a second. It's relevant in the match that I'm about to talk about. So not the sort of conditions you probably expect thinking about Adelaide. It's not going to be 30 degrees and sort of bone dry and not much wind. It's quite cool and windy.
We do not have a representative in the quarterfinals in Adelaide. Both our picks have lost and been out the tournament. But these are the odds if you want to have a bet. Hugo Humbert plus 275. He will go on and win this event because we tipped him last week. That is the trend, what happens on this show. Whenever we give a tip,
100%.
They usually go on to win it. So he will win that tournament. We might as well just
do it, yeah. That's it. That's what's going on.
Davidovich Fokina is $3. Tommy Paul is $3. Tomas Machac is $6. Vachereau, the man last year broke onto the scene, he's doing wonders again. He's plus $6.50. Jaume Munar, $9. Vukic, $14. And Alexander Shevchenko is $20 to man, the man who beat our final pick, Vukcevic, overnight. Any thoughts on them? Apart from Hugo Humbert's going to win it. Any other thoughts?
The plus 275 seems a bit short, doesn't it? Humbert. I'm not sure about
people are using the strategy that we pick them the week before and then they go on the week after.
Well, on the basis of that, he probably should be minus 275.
It should be minus. Exactly, minus 275.
It just seems very short to me, Humbert, given it's Hugo Humbert. I know he's got what on paper looks like a relatively straightforward match in the quarters against Shevchenko, the qualifier. But if I remember rightly, Humbert went 5 sets against Shevchenko at Wimbledon on the grass when the last time they met. So yeah, that just seems really, really short to me. I think Tommy Paul is the one that perhaps if you are interested in the outrights here and you're not too worried about the sort of short prices, that he should be beating Vukic now that he's in a bit of form. You know, he's not had a chance to build up much rhythm. He played in Petchy Pericard in Brisbane, then he's played a Pelka. Now he's playing another big-ish server in Vukic, but he'll get a little bit more rhythm from Vukic, I think. He's the one to me that perhaps is going to want to go the distance, hasn't played many matches in the last sort of 6-8 months or whatever because of injury. So it's certainly interesting. Davidovich Fokina, wasn't Davidovich Fokina favourite for this at the start of the tournament?
Yeah.
I don't see how Humbert can now be favourite, other than the fact.
Well, it's because of the route. It's because of the route he's got. I mean, he's got Shevchenko. He's a big, heavy favourite to beat Shevchenko, whereas Davidovich Fokina plays Vacheron, and obviously the route he's got is a little bit more difficult.
I'd be more on Davidovich than Humbert and probably Tommy Paul. I mean, I'm not sure I can see many of the. Munar's perhaps an interesting one at 9-1, but yeah, I think Tommy Paul would really like to win this title.
Well, Davidovich Fokina could play Humbert in the semi-finals, and that's probably where you want to get your money down and get with Davidovich Fokina if he starts the dog or pick him or something like that. So the reason why he's the favourite is purely and simply because his route to the semi-finals.
They're not reliable, are they? Humbert, Davidovich Fokina.
No. And that's why we are swerving those matches and concentrating on just the one. And let's have a look at that match. It's 8:40 p.m. Eastern Time. This is the first match of the night in Adelaide. The rest of them go through the evening. You can live stream all the matches on the BetRivers app. A whole host of markets on this match as we speak now. And it's Tomas Machac up against Jaume Munar. And I told you yesterday on the show, Jaume Munar was our most profitable player that we went with in 2025. We opposed him yesterday in a lean with Surindelu. Surindelu won the first set and Jaume Munar come back and won. As I said, Munar on the Instagram account. Machac is minus 137. Jaume Munar is plus 110. Spread 1.5. Total 22.5. We can't afford to keep opposing Munar. They've never met before, which is a bit of a surprise when you think about their careers. Never met before. Munar has been bet in the build-up to this match, and the current price with BetRivers is one of the best prices in the land. I've seen one firm, they're actually minus money on Munar. He beat Surindelu on a comeback win. Altmaier as well, straight sets win. Machac beat Duckworth and Harris. But Munar, he was our man last year. We went against him. Are we? Going over to say, Mr. Munar, we're sorry. All is forgiven. We're gonna put our faith in you again here, or we're gonna stick put a dagger in his heart and go with Machac.
It's very dramatic, but I mean, it wasn't an official.
This is how you feel. This is how you feel. Your loyalty to these tennis players is non-existent. Sean. That's what the problem.
There's no loyalty in betting. I mean, he was plus 143 when I saw this earlier. That's quite some move if that's what's happened. If he's our plus 110,
and it's going to go lower, mate. I'm telling you, it'll go lower than plus 110.
I'm saying get on Munar here for sure. Yep. Plus 143, I'd have been all over it, but I'm still happy to go in at plus 110. I think there's a few interesting factors in this one. Very windy, as I said. It's going to be, which might be a problem for Machac and anyone really who loves to really play aggressively, try and go for the lines, which Machac does. That would be a problem on a windy day. I'd much prefer a player with control, like Munar is one of those players. Machac should be happy that it's cooler for sure, because he's had a lot of problems with cramps in recent times. But for me, he's still got a big question mark about his fitness, the cramping, the knee issues, and his fitness has come to bear in the longer matches. He's lost 7 of his last 8 matches, Machac, that have gone to a deciding set, and I just wonder if he's got the stamina at the minute, given everything he's been through in the last year or so with injuries, to beat Munar in a real grind if it goes long. I'm not so sure that he has. Even if you take those factors out of there, it's Munar that has the much better stats on outdoor hard this last 12 months at main level. Service points won and return points won total for Munar, 104.4. Machac, 101.6. Now, that's against all players. If you isolate matches played against the current top 50 in the last 12 months at main level on this surface, outdoor hard, Munar's stats are almost the same. 104 his total is. Mahac's go down to 98. So Munar's game is standing up very well against the better players on this surface. I didn't like his odds against Sarundala yesterday. I thought that was too short, but I do like the odds here, given the stats, given Machac's questionable fitness. And you just feel like Machac will have to play a really clean match and probably needs to win it 2-0. If he gets dragged into a dogfight with Munar, I certainly wouldn't trust his fitness. So, yeah, official pick on our old buddy, good friend of mine, mi amigo.
Friend of the show.
Mi amigo Munar.
Good friend of the show, Jaume Munar is our official play. We are going 2026 style, same as 2025 style. The end of the year with our number one player, our man who made us the most money in 2025. Jaume Munar is plus 110. I don't think that price will last. I think he could start off around about even money. Head across to the BetRivers website now to get that Jaume Munar. You need to be quick because I think that will definitely be bet. If you haven't followed us on our Instagram account at Because We Win, there's a great video of me watching Munar play.
That was the US Open, wasn't it?
Diallo at the US Open, where I'm giving it this Munar, and hopefully I'll be giving plenty more of that tomorrow if he wins here at plus 110. So we end the week with one official play. Jaume Munar, 8:40 p.m. tonight in Adelaide. That is it. When we wake up tomorrow morning, we will know the draw for the Australian Open, the first major of the year. The draw will commence throughout the night tomorrow. So we will have loads of content coming your way. There's going to be preview shows on the outright market, tournament winner on the men's and the women's coming your way over the next couple of days, as well as the best bets in round one. So usually we come back on a Sunday, but this week it is the major week, which means more content here on the Betting Weekly Studios. So more incentive for you to click that subscribe button. You have to hit that subscribe button. We want you to join. We want you to be part of the journey throughout the year. And please hit the subscribe button and join us here for what's going to be an extensive coverage of the Australian Open. So Sean, I know you've got lots of studying to do. I know you've got a lot to work on, so I won't keep you too long. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank
and
you.
I'll probably speak to you again tomorrow looking at the outright market, and then probably Friday or Saturday to look at the matches. But we'll announce when we do that on our socials at Because We keep across all of them. And have a good day, mate.
Thanks very much.
Take care. Muna.